broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list. Hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. And I'm that spitter, baby. They don't want you to see, but everybody south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and plan to getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
X-ray season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that, hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my own flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I'll probably crack in my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete, I'm a verbal athlete. Deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building. My whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
Me up on camera. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. My name is Omari Salisbury, flying solo here in the studio today, and even extra solo. Where's Trey? Trey's gone. She's like, Treyana is down. She's still in the Virgin Islands. We were down in the Virgin Islands this weekend for Ashley McGirt and Houston Adair's wedding, and actually came back with a nice Virgin Islands t-shirt that I was going to wear today, but it looked like a muscle shirt. So I don't have it on today. I think we'll get Trey back. She was out on a yacht, wasn't she? Yeah, man, we need to get her back. She's over there in the sun and some of everything else. Let me jump right into it. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. Right now is a perfect opportunity for you to tag and share the stream. Go ahead and tag and share the stream with people who you feel would appreciate culturally relevant news and information emanating from right here in the Emerald City. Want to give a big shout out to our partners over at the South Seattle Emerald and KBCS 91.3 over at Bellevue College, right? Also want to remind everybody that you can listen to the Morning Update Show anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. You got SoundCloud over there in the links. There it is. But you know, you can also check us out on Google, Spotify, iTunes, anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network. Okay, has my buddy returned?
Hi, everyone. Trey Holiday here, Omari's amazing co-host. I am over here broadcasting from Honeymoon Beach on Water Island over here, right off of St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. And I'm so glad that I get to join you all. A little bit spotty, but I'm here as much as I can be. Great to see you all over there, looking great in the studio, my friend.
Treyana, you know this ain't right. You know this ain't right.
I miss you. We had a great time while you were here. I wish you were still here with me, my friend. But I told you Monday morning, I'm going to still be over here getting it in for you and everybody else who had to leave. Just one more extra day for me. And, I'm trying to soak it all in over here, man.
So hold on. You're there tomorrow, too?
Yeah, tomorrow is like my travel day, though. So you know how it is. It took us
I was going to say, Mr. Director, I'm going to just sleep tomorrow. I think Bayana can run the whole thing from down there in the Virgin Islands.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, this is a beautiful thing with technology. I get to be right there with you all the way from the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, if you were here, I mean, you're here, but if you were here physically, what a big, exciting day that we have here today. We've been talking about the intentionality of the people over there at the Pacific Northwest Ballet. And, they've been really, really been following through on it. And go ahead. We got a little photo montage here. We're going to put this up. That's right. So we're getting ready to get a nut cracking in here. And we've got Iliesiu and we've got Dammiel Cruz. Look at that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The nutcracker, I mean, it's crazy because it's almost hard, especially in a city like Seattle, not to really know the Nutcracker. The Nutcracker is one of the biggest ballet productions anywhere in America. And actually, I read somewhere that the Nutcracker alone is where most ballet companies get 40% of their revenue for a whole year. It's a very big production. We've got these very how do I say, what's the proper word? Is it ballerina, ballet? What's the right word? Yeah, but if I have two, ballet dancer. Listen, we in Seattle, so we got to get everything right.
Right. We won't get
Hey, we don't want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? And we got the ballet people out. It's like, hey, man.
Did it wrong.
All right,
right.
So, real excited for that. And you need to hurry up back home because, Leo over there, Pacific Northwest Ballet, offered us some tickets. And also, we've been telling you guys out there that we want you to come with us over there to McCall Hall. So many people have never seen McCall Hall. It's such a beautiful space. And, we want to have an opportunity for you to go and see the Nutcracker with us, right?
Absolutely. And this is really such a huge, huge effort in terms of the partnership that we've been growing here at Converge. And it's a beautiful time for us to deepen those relationships and partnerships as we bring these opportunities into our community. I mean, we've been talking about the fact that when you look at the history of performance in Black community in particular, we have always had a connection to performance, art, to dance, to music, to theater. So I love being able to interview these two amazing ballet dancers today and also bring some of our audience members down to the Nutcracker with us. Very exciting time indeed.
You're just difficult to look at today. I ain't gonna lie. Man, I'm so glad we got a shot we're gonna actually bring up here in a minute. But listen, we got a few headlines here. We're kind of abbreviated today because we have our special guest. But Julie Wise has not certified this yet, I don't believe, over at King County Elections, but it looks like Councilmember Shama Sawant is going to hold on to her seat over there in D3 by the hairs of her chinny chin chin. We talking about just a few hundred votes, a district divided for sure. And, Sawant, man, famous for these comebacks. We saw that a few years ago against Egan O'Ryan, where, it was a massive swing. And everybody said, because they were doing the calculations, all the old folks got out early and voted. And a lot of people assumed, and those numbers came back, that was really yes on the recall. But that machine that Sawant has and her party, I mean, that day of voting, a massive shift in the numbers of votes. And then last time I checked, and I know there's somebody out there who will probably correct me, but last time I checked, she was up by about 300 votes, and there was about 600 votes in contention. Now, the thing is about those 600 votes, they've all been challenged. And what we saw about the challenge, remember we learned that in the previous election, is a lot of the people whose signatures are challenged are either immigrants or young people. And so you can't really extrapolate where those 600 votes will go, but you can make some guesses. It kind of looks like Sawant is going to hold on to her seat. It wasn't commanding numbers or things like that, but hey, 50% plus 1 does the job. Did we lose her? Huh? No, it's fine. You put me back up. She probably went to go swimming or something. Like, let me just put up a screenshot real quick. Yeah, that's what you get, Trey. You go over there and do something. But I'm sure we'll get her back here in a second. But yeah, big news. That get out the vote machine for council members to want. Do you live in D3? Yeah, just work in D3. Okay. Yeah. So, definitely divided. I just got back, so it'll be interesting. But pop up there on Capitol Hill, pop into my home neighborhood, the Central District, move around the district and see what some people's thoughts were, because, man, that was just a really, really divided race right there. Something else wanted to bring up here. This is Governor Inslee. And there's a group here. Let's see. Citing need for affirmative action, local leaders urge Inslee to rescind an old directive. And man, it's a lot going on with this. And there's been a bunch of groups that have found that systemically the state of Washington, this is something like we kind of already know, but the state of Washington has moved over the years to make sure that, like, especially around construction, the black contractors were not included. And we've seen that. And we've also seen the placement of roads. I-90 came through, how they wanted to do in the Central District, some of everything else. But now, this thing's moving on a federal level. And Congressman Adam Smith has actually written a letter to the Department of Justice asking that they look further into long-term systemic practices by the state of Washington, especially around construction. And construction is something that, here on the Morning Update show, we talked about a lot. Clearly, it's impacted a lot of our legacy neighborhoods, the Central District, Capitol Hill, the CID, and some of everything else. We're going to stay on top. This is going to be a very big story right here. Anytime that you have a congressman now asking the Department of Justice to look into something, is definitely not just going to go away. Want to bring up something else here. This is Seattle Restored. Let me put this one up. There it is. Calling all creatives, the city of Seattle has new opportunities this winter season. So if you go to our whereweconverge.com and you click on the blog, you'll see this here. It's a whole bunch of opportunities that are out there. And one of the things, Seattle Restored, if you're downtown a lot like we are right here, our studio's on First and Columbia, there's so many vacant buildings. And one of the things that we were doing even a year ago, and we saw some artists that were down here, they were doing installations in some of the vacant buildings that were out here. Well, it looks like the city has teamed up with Shunpike and a few other groups, and they're going to make these vacant spaces available, and they're actually giving artists money to go and do an installation in some of these vacant spaces, which would be really cool, because down here downtown, we need to activate the space. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of vacant spaces here. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses closed during COVID and they're not coming back. I'm sure ultimately another business will take their space, but right now it's lots, there's space down here. So it's good to see the city do that. You can go to our website, whereweconverge.com, click on blog. You can read all about it. And there's so many opportunities that are there that the city has for creatives and people in the creative economy. That's like almost everybody in here in the creative economy. And so that is there. What else do I got? I do have, it looks like we lost Trey, but I do have a clip right here. This is me and Trey Holiday. We're there at Lindquist Beach in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And this is just a few minutes after Ashley McGirt, now Ashley Adair, and Houston Adair tied their knots down there in the Virgin Islands. All right, Trey Holiday, what have we just witnessed here?
Black love at its finest right here on Lindquist Beach in the
this whole wedding and the lead up to it is that Houston has been talking about intentionality, black excellence, black love, everything else, and we saw the full manifestation of this effort, this love coming together. It's emotional. I cried a little bit during the ceremony. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, Ashley was so beautiful coming down the aisle. I was struck again with that heartfelt, genuine nature of watching love at its finest manifestation. You're right, though, because I think both of them really share this personality towards each other. They've been there for each other in ways that are far-reaching, and already going through the highs and lows of love and really expressing their love in ways that you can only genuinely love someone.
There it is. Houston, Ashley, congratulations.
Congratulations, y'all. We love y'all so much.
All right. That was, man, right there, Lindquist Beach. And so this is something I really want to bring up, man, is that a lot of times we forget that the U.S. Virgin Islands, they don't require a passport. And I know some people out there are passport challenged for different reasons. We won't bring that up. But the only time we showed ID was leaving Seattle to get down to the Virgin Islands. So I bring that up because a lot of times it's like, oh, everybody's going to Mexico, can't go to Mexico. Or we were just in Belize 2 weeks ago. Curtis and Ace were down there in Belize as well. But the Virgin Islands, it's like, yeah, it really is a whole other country. But it's like US dollars, but they drive on the left-hand side, but the food is cracking and like, man, it's just a great destination. So again, Trey's, oh, hey buddy.
So sorry, everyone. My phone overheated, and so I had to get a little bit more in the shade. At least you guys got a little bit of that amazing sunshine that I'm basking in right here. But I got in the shade, so hopefully we're good.
Oh, I guess it's warm there. Your phone overheated.
Yes, it's very warm. Who would have known the Virgin Islands could heat up my phone? But yes, very warm and very cozy over here on Honeymoon Beach.
So I was just saying, Trey, and we'll move on here to our next segment. But I was just saying that Virgin Islands is good for people passport challenge, and I only say that because I got 7 passports out in like 72 hours. I don't know how we did it, and even got a new passport for somebody who lost one down in Belize. I ain't gonna say no names out there, but it's good because it's part of the United States. People can you can get out. I mean, it really does you something good, especially get out of this weather.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I know the bride and groom were thinking about in terms of their family members. Again, together they have traveled to over 12 different countries, but they said, everybody they love does not have a passport. So how can they be tropical?
Make it.
Thoughtful of all of the family members and loved ones. A beautiful time. And I agree. Oh man, if you don't have your passport, get it to the Virgin Islands.
All right, good stuff. We got a segment here.
Can I say something real quick? Because you ended on someone, and I just got to say, we've been talking about this from day one.
Go ahead, put it on the big screen.
Thank you. I had to go back to it because we have been talking about this. The machine of the Sawant camp is real. And Omari's been saying it time and time again. We saw those initial numbers come in. And when Justin was on the show with me, we were going over those numbers and understanding that a lot of that was attributed to the early voters. But once again, the machine is alive and well. And, Omari said it early on that, hey, if Sawant pulls us out, it's saying a lot about the matrix and the characteristics of D3. And I agree 100%. Those young voters came out. And again, the numbers aren't all the way settled, hasn't been official yet. But even this a record turnout, really these amazing high numbers, says a lot about the power of the people that are looking for different types of progress right there in D3. Just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. I will say this though, now definitely we'll see what happens, and Director Wise and the team over King County Elections will probably be certifying here very soon once they go through the challenges. But also, Trey, when it's coming down to 300, and no shade at all, I'm just saying the numbers of this is a very polarized district. D3, which a lot of people might consider to be one of the most liberal districts in the city, but it's a very polarized district. So hopefully, no matter what the outcome here, it's like Sawant most likely a keep her seat. Maybe we can work on this polarization in the district and find ways to be able to bring people together around important issues that are there.
Yeah,
That sounds
absolutely.
good, right?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, Omar. You're absolutely correct. How do we unfortunately, bring these kind of two sides together? I think there's some work to be done there. But you know what? I got a strong sense of faith that maybe there's some great ways to make it happen.
All right, good stuff. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Since we got you right now, we're gonna move this other segment to the end of the show because we don't want to lose you again. So we're gonna take a break right now. When we come back, we're gonna have Iliesiu. Ta-da! You see that? What? We got Iliesiu who's gonna be joining us on the set. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Hey guys, Lisa Gordon here, and before heading to Belize, Trey Holiday and I had to make sure we linked up with our good friends over at Market Street Shoes to, of course, grab a few things for the trip. From bags to socks, shoes, sunglasses, earrings, and more. Before going on any trip, make sure you stop at Market Street Shoes. Trust me, you'll find just what you need to make your trip not only enjoyable, but fashionable.
For the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Pacific Northwest Ballet is thrilled to be back on stage with your favorite holiday tradition, the Nutcracker. Brighten your holidays with this timeless tale, performed by PNB's incredible company of dancers to the live magic of the PNB Orchestra, playing Tchaikovsky's classic score. Treat your loved ones to the Nutcracker at Seattle Center's McCaw Hall. Tickets and health and safety information at pnb.org.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. My name is Omari Salisbury here in cold and rainy Seattle, Washington.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday. And joining us now on set and right over here in the Virgin Islands, I got Big O there, but we also got Iliesiu from the Nutcracker, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's put it on the wide, Curtis. Hey, Cece, welcome to the Morning Update Show.
Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to be here.
Yeah, no, this is great. We have so many questions for you. You know what I'm saying? So many questions about the ballet as a whole and everything else. Man, where do we start? I think a good way to start is there's a lot of our audience that have seen, the branding of the Nutcracker and seen the commercial of the Nutcracker and everything else. Maybe you could tell us what the Nutcracker is all about.
Yeah. Well, I have been doing the Nutcracker since I was probably 5 years old. So it's been 25 years of just part of my life and holiday tradition. I don't spend, besides last year during COVID where everything was shut down, was my first normal holiday season. But I think the Nutcracker just exemplifies the beauty and hominess and traditions of the holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. It's just a beautiful holiday celebration where you get to see snowflakes running around the stage and different Land of the Sweet characters dancing on stage, and listening to the beautiful Tchaikovsky score is just spectacular. So I'm so happy to be back on stage this year after a pause during COVID last year with theaters shut down. But the Nutcracker is so special, and yeah, we just love our audiences.
And I know Trey got a lot of questions for you, but real quick, you're the Sugar Plum Fairy. And what's the Sugar Plum Fairy?
So actually, that's one of 6 of my roles. So we have about 37 performances each season, each Nutcracker season. So Sugar Plum is one of my roles, but I also play Clara's mom, the Arabian Coffee, lead Spanish, among others. So each show is kind of a different challenge, but Sugar Plum is definitely my favorite role to play because it's been a dream of mine to perform it. And so to be able to be on stage with the lovely little angels on stage and having all the kids running around and be like, you're the Sugar Plum Fairy, can I have your autograph? It's amazing. Yeah, so this is my 2nd year playing the role of the Sugar Plum Fairy with Dammiel, who you'll meet later, is my wonderful partner and cavalier. But it's just been such a treat to play the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Okay, good stuff. Trey? Got Trey.
There we go. So you know what? That really brings me to my question about the characterization of all the characters in the Nutcracker. And since you've been able to play multiple roles, how do you embody? You know, it's more than just dancing, right? Because it's also embodying that character. So I want to just hear a little bit about your process when you're going from one character to the next, depending on the performance you're doing. How does that work as a dancer, and specifically for the Nutcracker?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been doing this particular version. So this is George Balanchine's version of the Nutcracker. Each ballet company, for the most part, has their own version.
It's a remix.
But I did this version when I was a student in New York City. I grew up in Manhattan, and they do this exact same version. So I've grown up with this version of the Nutcracker, and I'm very, very, very familiar with it. It's been in my body for about 20 years. So there isn't that much thought that has to go into like, okay, do I remember my steps? Like, I know the steps, I can do them in my sleep. Actually, fun fact, it takes us about a week to put the whole production together for the company members because it's just remembering what we're doing rather than learning what we're doing. So that's just how ingrained it is in our bodies. But I would say before every show, I take a moment to like think about what role I'm doing, go over the steps, like how I want to be intentional on stage, what story I want to tell. So preparing for the Sugar Plum Fairy is very different than Arabian Coffee, who's like this sultry, sexy lady on stage in a bikini. Like you want this kind of characterization rather than like welcoming and friendly, which the Sugar Plum Fairy is. So yeah, there definitely has to be a bit of a mental energy behind what you're doing, but it's just all amazing to be able to play so many different roles and have that differentiation of characters.
Now we are kind of heavy in the arts and performing arts right now, and so like a production that comes over to say the Paramount, a Paramount production, that's a traveling production, and those guys travel. Like we just were over there for Mean Girls, and there's a few other shows, you know, My Fair Lady, Anastasia, all that. Those are traveling. The way the ballet works is that you guys all are here, and then everything that you guys do, your productions, you're here, and so maybe you could talk a little bit more about how that works.
Yeah, so Seattle is our home. We're the Pacific Northwest Ballet, and we are the main ballet company here in this corner of the country. And Nutcracker is our staple. We do it every single year from the day after Thanksgiving until 3 days after Christmas. And we sometimes have 2 shows every day. So as I said, we have 37 shows basically for the entire month of December. So that's a staple for the company every year. And then we have 6 or 7 other what we call repertoires or productions that we put on stage. So coming up, we have Romeo and Juliet in February, which is a beautiful production. We're doing Swan Lake in April, and then like some more modern things as well. So the Nutcracker, you'll see us dancing in point shoes, having tutus on, tiaras, like what you would think is like classical ballet. But then we also dance in socks, and we did a production where it literally rained on stage and we had to dance with water on the floor. So our company is very diverse in the type of repertoire or types of pieces that we do, from like the classics to very modern and contemporary, where we're like slamming on tables and moving scenery. I mean, it's like we do all of it, but Nutcracker is definitely our staple that we do every single year.
Right. You know, I was trying to do some research. They were talking about even nationally, Nutcracker for most ballet companies. That's their biggest production of the year, their biggest pull in, and that's why I said we're really happy that Pacific Northwest Ballet is being intentional in their outreach and everything else, because a lot of times, we don't really get talked to our community traditionally about ballet. And, I wanted to share with you and with our audience here. I got a few photos we'll put up. See, this was my daughter. This is down in Houston 2 years ago. That's me and Victoria. And we went and saw the Nutcracker there in Houston. And my daughter, she wanted to go and see the Nutcracker. And I was like, it's ballet, there's no talking, by the way. And it was such a great experience, and it was such a great daddy-daughter experience. And I mean, it really transformed the way that I think about ballet. I would never really, I wasn't against it or anything, but I never would think twice about the ballet. I'm like, whatever. But my daughter was like, we have to go see the Nutcracker. And we went down there in Houston. It's an amazing hall, just like here, McCall Hall. And it was just such a fantastic experience. And thinking of, like you said, ever since you were 5 years old, you've been doing it's been in your body. Yeah. Was exactly what you were saying. Maybe you could talk about how this is a production for the whole family.
Oh, if any piece that we do or production that we do all year round is the most inclusive family-wise, it's the Nutcracker for sure. It's just a beautiful holiday tradition that can be shared with all generations, all types of people. And it's just such a lovely time to dance, be part of, and then also be in the audience and just share this moment with your granddaughter or your best friend that you wanted to treat, or a new mom and treat them out to a girls' night. I mean, there are just so many possibilities for the Nutcracker to be this holiday tradition that everyone can share.
Trey Holiday?
Yeah, I mean, this is a beautiful interview here, and just learning about your history with the Nutcracker. One of the things that I think is really connected to us and community is the ways that we intentionally build relationships. And as you talk about being able to be a part of this amazing show for so many years, I want to ask you, how has it felt for you to know that now there's probably young, dancers that are looking up to you to understand what it can mean in terms of their life and a professional dance career, because you're really showcasing that and being able to be connected to it for so long. How does that feel when you have those young girls coming up to you asking for your autograph, or maybe even you encouraging them and looking at themselves as professional dancers as they become adults?
That's probably the most fulfilling part of my career, honestly. Nutcracker is just incredible in that way that it feels like such a full circle experience. So I grew up being a mouse and a soldier and a candy cane in the Nutcracker, and looking up to the Sugar Plum Fairy, and then being now the Sugar Plum Fairy and making sure all the kids feel welcomed and safe and comfortable on stage has been just so incredible for me as an artist and a dancer in this company to be able to give back to who was me just a couple years ago as a student. And one of my favorite traditions is we go through a lot of point shoes during Nutcracker because we're dancing so much. And we call them dead when you can't use them anymore. And the cast of children in the Nutcracker write us fan mail and ask for our point shoes. And we sign them, and I like to write their names and say, like, keep dancing or something inspirational. And then you give that to them. And I have under my bed at home in New York City my collection of all the point shoes that I collected and asked for the professional dancers in New York City Ballet that were the Sugar Plum Fairy. And now I am that person giving the shoes to the students. And it's my favorite part of Nutcracker, besides dancing, of course.
Yo, this is so great. I was just gonna say, this is so, like, you're in love with ballet.
Yeah.
It's just undeniable.
COVID actually really taught me that lesson. Like, I've always loved ballet, but having it taken away from me for how many months, years of not being in the theater and the stage, And now being back and having our beautiful audience there supporting us and feeling the energy of everyone out in the audience, everyone on stage, there is nothing like it, really, truly. And so to be able to have this gift back, I will never take it for granted ever again. To have all these beautiful children that are looking up to me and having all the children screaming in the audience, it's really incredible. So I love my job, but I don't call it a job.
All right. Well, before we let you go, we want to let you look into this camera right here, and especially for our you can go ahead and solo in, especially for our audience who might be new and just learning about the Nutcracker. Why should they come out and check you guys out?
If you love spending time with your family and sharing activity and treating yourselves this holiday season, the Nutcracker is an incredible performance production. You can go out to dinner, drinks before or after, and just spend time with your family and friends and watch a beautiful production. Talk to your friends about what your favorite roles are and favorite parts and what you'd want to dance. And then you get to listen to our beautiful live orchestra, watch the beautiful dancers, the kids, adults on stage, and then just share the holiday joy and experience with your friends and family and the whole audience with you.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Iliesiu.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we're joined by Dammiel Cruz, who's a Cavalier. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Hey guys, Besa Gordon here, and before heading to Belize, Trey Holiday and I had to make sure we linked up with our good friends over at Market Street Shoes to, of course, grab a few things for the trip. From bags to socks, shoes, sunglasses, earrings, and more. Before going on any trip, make sure you stop at Market Street Shoes. Trust me, you'll find just what you need to make your trip not only enjoyable, but fashionable.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady.
Playing the Paramount Theater December 28th to January 2nd. Tickets at stgpresents.org.
Pacific Northwest Ballet is thrilled to be back on stage with your favorite holiday tradition, the Nutcracker. Brighten your holidays with this timeless tale, performed by PNB's incredible company of dancers to the live magic of the PNB Orchestra, playing Tchaikovsky's classic score. Treat your loved ones to the Nutcracker at Seattle Center's McCaw Hall. Tickets and health and safety information at pnb.org.
All right. Welcome back to the Morning Update Show again.
Yes.
Me, Amari, in the cold.
Hey, Trey Holiday in the warmth. Very true.
They're in the U.S. Virgin Islands, right? Are you going to get over to St. Croix before you leave?
That's a really good thought. I'm really trying to make it happen. Today is kind of my last day to get some things in, but honestly, if I can, I will.
Right. We went to St. John, so we've been to 2 of the 3, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny when you get over here. Oh, you see a lot of small islands. And you go, my gosh, it looks so expansive, honestly. But let's not forget that, there's still the British Virgin Islands. So there's other islands all involved right here on the same.
Aruba's around the corner. 2 blocks away is Barbados.
Yeah, Puerto Rico down the street. Like all of this is super close.
Have a good time there. All right. Well, welcoming now to the Morning Update Show, Dammiel Cruz. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's a blessing to be here. It's finally talk about everything I've done for the past month. So.
Yeah, no, man. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Well,
hi, Dammiel. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'll let you lead off here, Trey.
Yeah, I mean, just listening to Cece, it's clear that there's a real importance involved in the Nutcracker for any ballet dancer. And so I just want to start off by asking you specifically, how has your experience evolved and maybe your history and connection to this amazing performance that is the Nutcracker, that's such a staple for a lot of our ballet companies out there throughout the U.S.?
Yeah, definitely. I actually started training at the same school as Cece in New York, and I was in the production for New York City Ballet for maybe like 2 years as a kid, and then I started again when I was a lot older when I joined the company. So definitely being a kid and then looking up to all those dancers and then being one of those dancers now has definitely been one of the most fulfilling things in my career. So I'll definitely say that's how it's been pretty much so far.
What inspired you? I mean, this isn't so. First of all, we got a wide there. Can we stand up?
Sure.
Hey, I mean, because when you think ballet, I mean, usually a lot of perception is small guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a smaller frame.
Yeah.
Big.
I'm a big dude. Yes, sir.
like what? I mean, what was the catalyst? Because it's not, and we want to talk a little bit more too about like the training, the hard work. You know, we were talking about the Nutcracker the other day, and I was like, these ballet dancers are strong. By the way, very strong. Some of the stuff that happens, maybe you could tell our audience, one, what really drove that commitment to you, because this is a very committed thing to be in a ballet. And so what's the average day like as far as working outside of the performance?
Right. Well, the average day, I'd say, starts at like 9 in the morning when we have class, which prepares us for the day, gets our body warm, gets our body moving in the right direction. And then we'll have a rehearsal day, possibly from like 12 to 6. You know, that's the longest it could be. Sometimes it's shorter than that. And then we'll have a performance at night, which is going to be this week coming up for us pretty much, because we're going to start rehearsing Romeo and Juliet coming up this week. So that's definitely what it's been like. But when it comes to commitment, I'd say, like, if you don't love it, you can't do it because of the amount of work that it takes to actually become a professional. You know, when it comes to the training itself and then the cross training you need to do for the strength that's required, you know, especially for somebody like me, like I'm a partner, like I throw CC around for a living pretty much these last 6 weeks, you know, so I got to be able to support her as much as I can, you know. So I definitely say weightlifting is huge. Keeping your stamina up, whether it's on a treadmill or whatever, that's a big thing too. But definitely keeping your body ready, you know, whatever it takes.
Yeah, it's like ballet is, man, that's like you're an athlete. You know,
man, I am a professional athlete, you know.
But my ballet days might be behind me, Daniel. Trey Holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really, want to ask some questions, or a question really around the difference between kind of theater and ballet. When we think about theater, an actor or an actress, they have to go out and audition for every single role that they are casted in for any type of play. But with a dance company like Northwest Ballet, Pacific Ballet, really, you guys are doing, like you said, you're about to now get prepared for Romeo and Juliet. Tell us a little bit about how the world of a dancer is really activated in a dance company, and how you guys then have to put on really specific productions. How does that work in terms of contract? Is it something that you guys get every year? Tell us a little bit about that background.
Yeah, so pretty much how it works is that hopefully if everything goes swimmingly, you get renewed for a contract the next season. But pretty much how it works is that your artistic director, our boss, who's Peter Bull, he knows what you're capable of, what your skills are as a dancer, and from that, he's able to cast you in certain things. So I'd say that's pretty much where the drive is. We don't necessarily audition for certain parts. There are situations like that where a stager will come in and he'll look at a room full of all of us, and then we'll just do the material the best that we can, and then they choose from there who they want to be in the production. But for the most part, our boss pretty much knows what we're capable of, and then puts us in those roles according to that. So,
how competitive is it at this level? And I only say that because anybody who's had a kid in ballet, they know at like 6 years old, man, it's competitive out there. You know what I'm saying? And then, I mean, and a lot of times for different communities, that's where things start to fall off, right? Because, if certain people have resources, extra training, dancing, and this and that, how competitive is it?
I'm going to be transparent with you. It can get kind of competitive. That's just naturally a part of anything, when you're an athlete, a dancer, playing sports, whatever it is, But I would say that, like, the main drive has to be how much you actually love it, because otherwise you're not going to want to wake up every day and do it. It's like, to maintain that healthy lifestyle with what you're doing, I'd say keeping the competition a little bit on the side, although it is a part of it, is important. So,
Wow. Yeah. What's the best part? I'm sorry, Trey, but what's the best part of being there at the Pacific Northwest Ballet? And is there anything that makes the Pacific Northwest Ballet maybe unique from other dance companies?
Yeah, I would say at P&B, we are a very inclusive environment who just accepts, good dancing and anyone of all backgrounds, like, we're very accepting of everyone. And that's what I'd say. I felt very welcomed ever since I've been here. So that's pretty much stronghold of what's like pushing, you know. Yeah.
Trey?
Yeah, I mean, you know, what you're talking about really gives me so much inspiration. I think it's important for young men out there to understand now the importance of how they can see themselves as a dancer. How much of your work, you know, kind of what I was asking Cece, do you get inspired by young men being able to look up to you, seeing you do it, you become the thing when they do work so hard from such a young age? You know, now are you able to kind of give that inspiration back out to the younger dancer community? How do you build relationship with them?
Yeah, definitely. For me specifically, I'm also a teacher at Pacific Northwest Ballet School. So my whole goal in life is to just give back to the younger generation of students. It's my main thing. And just like to see somebody younger loving ballet the way that I did, it's one of the most fulfilling feelings I've ever felt. So that's definitely where my root of it is. So.
Man, this is good stuff. Like I said, I'm
look at how they give back. I just got to say, you know, all of these amazing performers that we've been able to interview thus far really have that at their core, where everything they're doing is not just about for them, but it also is about ways that they're able to inspire others and, you know, really expand it out. So I just love hearing that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
I think that for me, I think one of the best things is that these barriers that sometimes have been very real and are sometimes, you know, imagined, but either way, like, this is really dope. And I just want to tell you that this is really dope. This is real special, because I'll be honest with you, when Converge ran over there 4 years ago, I don't think, and not out of maliciousness or not out of anything, I don't think that if we were like, hey, we want to do this or we'll do a show or this, I don't know if it would have came together like that. And this is why this is a big deal to be like, I flew all night to make sure we were here. You know what I'm saying? I just landed at 8 o'clock this morning. We flew all night because this is a big deal. And when people like yourselves and the Pacific Northwest Ballet are intentional in your efforts of saying, hey, Omari, man, how can we get more people from the Central District? How can we get more people from the South and the Seattle? How can we reinforce our message across the city with the existing audience? It's the intentionality of it. And man, that makes a big difference. And also the conversations with Leah, it isn't one of those ploys. And we've been following the PNB. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been any ballets, but, you know, we've been following for a while, you know, even well before we ever came into communication. It's like, oh, look at these guys. And when you talked about this is a diverse group, you know, who's always uplifting the different cast members and everything else. And because, you know, Converge, we stay away from the ploys. A lot of people come with the, you know what I'm saying? Well, let's see if we can get on Converge. You know, they give us some DEI points or something like that. This is, I mean, I'm here to say that this is a sincere group, a sincere company, and sincere effort. And I want to thank you guys for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. Definitely the point that you hit right there is the fact that anybody of any background is always going to be included. And that's why representation is so important. You know, being able to see somebody that looks like you on stage, you know, to want to go to the ballet, want to go take a class. And then from there, you never know what it can grow into. So
fantastic. Look, I'm going to give you another opportunity right here for the people. Yep. There you go. We're going to look right into that camera right now. And man, why should people, especially in our neighborhood, come down and check out the Nutcracker?
I think it's a spectacular little performance that we put together. It's a great opportunity to make a nice little evening with your family. Like Cece said, you can go to dinner before, drinks before or after, you know, make a whole thing out of it, you know. Yeah, and it's just a great experience, you know. It can really make a memory that you can keep with your family for a long while going forward. So,
all right, good stuff. Dammiel Cruz, also known as Cavalier.
Yes.
From the Nutcracker. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to sit and talk with you guys. So,
all right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to check back in with Trey Holiday in the Virgin Islands. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady.
Playing the Paramount Theater December 28th to January 2nd. Tickets at stgpresents.org.
Pacific Northwest Ballet is thrilled to be back on stage with your favorite holiday tradition, the Nutcracker. Brighten your holidays with this timeless tale, performed by PNB's incredible company of dancers to the live magic of the PNB Orchestra, playing Tchaikovsky's classic score. Treat your loved ones to the Nutcracker at Seattle Center's McCaw Hall. Tickets and health and safety information at pnb.org.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. Where's Treyana at?
Hey.
There she is.
Still with you, brother.
Yo, this is dope today, right? CC
Oh,
and Dammiel.
Yeah, I mean, let me just say straight up off the bat that, you know, as a young performer myself, as a kid, you know, what Dammiel said there about representation is so key and it's so vital. And I think it really expands beyond theater and dance. You know, a lot of times when you don't have that representation, you really feel excluded. And you were talking about the barriers, and I agree 100% that seeing someone that looks like you, that maybe has a similar lived experience or background, really breaks down the notion that you can't do it, right? It's just by sheer example that it breaks that barrier immediately. And the first barrier we have to overcome with any type of challenge in life is the barrier of the things that we put in front of ourselves, of saying I can't do it. And so I love being able to interview both of them and really get it on the record from their perspective and experience how PNB is open, is inclusive of all. If you got the talent, you should try it. So I love that he said that there. And I love that they're both inspiring young dancers to do what they're doing.
Yeah, no, you know, and a few things with that. One, so it's Lloyd Gregory made a comment here, said, I love that Converge is showcasing this. Didn't realize the ballet was reaching out. That's what's up. That's how you grow. You know, yeah. I mean, and there you go, right there. And you know, the other thing is, go ahead.
No, I just was saying so true, Lloyd. And that's exactly why I wanted to point out the intentionality of how Converge is building relationships outside of the norm. You know, Omari and I have been talking about news stories all the time, but there's so much going on in the entertainment world. There's so much going on in community. Building those partnerships is really key and essential to folks understanding that, hey, we can go to Converge to get this message out. I just love seeing the growth as well, Lloyd. Great comment.
Right, definitely. And you know, one thing here I'll say is that for people in the neighborhood, especially like if you've never been to the ballet, and if you've never been to one of these Broadway Across America shows, things like that, man, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get out. And I'm confident in saying that because a lot of these conversations have been months and months in the making, and because people really value what we say, right? And so we don't ever want to have a non-organic relationship, a non-real relationship. And so that's that part, right? There's the relationship part. Like, man, these are just good people. But then there's just really just being entertained, you know? And at the end of the day, like I said, an amazing experience with Victoria. I don't think you were on. Were you on? Go put the pictures up.
Yeah,
Put
I
Victoria
got to
back
see
up.
the picture of you taking your
Oh, no,
daughter
don't worry.
out there in
We'll
Houston.
play him again.
Yeah.
You still got
Yeah.
they're right there. Like, I mean, and so like this, I'm speaking authentically. You know what I'm saying? This is authentic experience that I had there at the Nutcracker. It was in a different city, but it was, it was the Nutcracker. It was with my daughter, and it was just such a great experience. So all the good stuff to the side, like great organization, great people, intention. Man, it's just entertaining, and it's good to go with, especially with somebody you love or trying to impress, or both.
Yeah. No, you're right. Oh, and this is what they were talking about. I mean, both of them really echoed those very same sentiments around, hey, if you've never come to a show or never done the ballet, come bring your family out there. I love how Cece said a new mom, girls night out. I mean, you can really imagine it. You can do it by bringing your family into the experience, and you embody that by taking your daughter out there. Oh, so you're one of those families that they're talking about, and you said, look, you may not have chose that, but your daughter was like, Dad, we gotta go, and you went and you enjoyed yourself. Says a lot.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I can authentically put the stamp on it. Like, yeah, go see the Nutcracker. All right, Trey Holiday, we're getting ready to get out of here. We're gonna let you get back to whatever it is you out there doing in the Virgin Islands. It's all lush and green and everything. You got any last words before we get out of here?
Oh, for me, always, you guys, as we saw here with these two amazing dancers, Cece and Dammiel, please see yourself as a part of the solution. Not only are they doing something they love, but they're finding a way to give back. And I think that really is something we can all learn from and be inspired by. Doesn't matter what you do as a day-to-day job or, in your professional career or in your own business, the ways that you connect that to the whole is so key and important. And you never know how your life and experience can inspire someone else. So always see yourself as part of the solution, guys.
There it is. Fantastic. We got a link that Curtis will go ahead and put in the comments. It's the link over there to Pacific Northwest Ballet and McCall Hall, people who want to purchase tickets. And we'll be updating everybody probably tomorrow. I think we'll have it worked out as far as what day we're going to attend. We want to take a few of you guys with us over there to the Nutcracker. Let's see if we can get some young people to go. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be fantastic. On that note, though, being back here in Seattle, you know what I'm saying?
Stop it all.
You're going to be mad when you land. I'm going to just tell you. But on that note, want to remind everybody, go forward in your purpose. Go forward in your humanity. And until tomorrow at 11 a.m., peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.